Picture this. You're sitting at a dinner with the parents of your significant other, and you're trying to make a good first impression when all of a sudden an awkward silence descends and lengthens and lengthens and lengthens until nobody at the table can seem to bear it anymore. Even their 5-year-old brother is looking down, wincing. But you don't know whether it's your place to speak. You don't want to get judged. You don't want to try to compliment the food and end up insulting it. Eventually, though, you do decide that you have to do this because no one else seems to be saying anything. In fact, they're all looking at you, waiting for you to say something. It's like a test almost. And so you say, this mashed potato is the perfect texture. And just like that, a wave of relief floods over everyone. And it's back to normal. The conversation kicks off. And you're right about the mashed potato. Everyone did like it. As the rest of the dinner goes on, you realize that it's okay and you should probably just talk more. But there's just one problem. You can't think of anything to say. Whenever you try and speak, you either can't think of anything to say, or you think of something but you're still worried about getting judged. So the dinner goes by, you don't quite say enough to impress the parents, but you don't say anything that's terrible, and you walk away from the whole thing with the parents not really having bonded with you, but not actively disliking you. You're kind of just in that zone of unfamiliarity. There's two problems the hypothetical person in this situation was facing. The first one is not knowing whether you should talk more or less, and the second one is not knowing how to talk more or less. This first question is answered by knowing which kind of animal you are. And the second one we'll get to in a second, but it's to do with discipline. So, what kind of animal are you? We are all somewhere on a spectrum from friendly dog to quiet cat. I myself am a quiet cat. I can be anywhere on the spectrum, we all can, but we have somewhere that we tend to fall. And that's not all the way down here. It's just, if this is the midline, I'm like maybe here or here. Realistically, I'm like here, let's be honest. Somewhere there. And you guys probably know which one you are already, so I don't need to go over it too much. But if you don't, I've got a little bit on that. But really the difficulty lies in not knowing which end you're at, but how close you are to the middle. Because you need to be at this exact spot to have the best opportunity to connect with people. And if you're just a little bit off, you're missing out on the full opportunity that you could be getting. A question you can ask yourself if you're not sure if you're slightly to one side is, am I starting more conversations in the average conversation than the average person who's in that conversation? Oh, that was a mouthful. What I mean is, if there's a silence and you are constantly restarting it, that's a good sign that you're in friendly dog territory, or maybe you're at the mark. Whereas if other people are constantly restarting conversations in one-on-one conversations or whatever, you're not really having as much input. That shows that you're more down in the quiet cat end. If it's roughly let's say it's a one-on-one conversation, if you're restarting the conversation maybe 50 to 70% of the time, you're probably bang on this good mark. And it depends who you're talking to, of course. The reason you can be more than half of the time in a one-on-one conversation is sometimes the other person is also a quiet cat. And sometimes it is okay to be less than 50%, but I think so many of us are quiet cats, and we also feel like we're saying more than we are. So I think 50% is something good to aim for. And if you're having lots of these silences in the conversation, that also shows that you're not keeping conversations going long enough, so you're probably a quiet cat. It could be the other person, again, it's not always you, but this is why I'm saying it's the average of all your conversations across the diverse range of people you talk to. If you're still not sure, you can think about, what am I when it comes to my family? Because when you're around your family, for me at least, I'm pretty relaxed. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not trying to get people to like me because they already do like me. So when I'm around my family, the quiet cat in me comes out. Now that you know if you're on the mark or if you need to move a little bit, why is it so hard to actually move? Because I'm sure you've at some point or other realized that you're not quite on this mark, that you need to talk more or you need to talk less, but you just can't seem to do it. It's because it feels weird, right? Talking a lot when you're a quiet cat feels wrong, even if you're not even talking that much. It just feels off. Your perception of how much you're talking is just messed up. Part of that is because you're used to a certain tempo of speech, or a certain frequency of asking questions or whatever, saying stuff really. And when you talk more, it feels wrong. It's not though that you're actually talking too much, it's just you're talking more than you used to. And your brain tells you, hey, that's not you, get back there, get back down to quiet cat land. But really, you should actually be talking more because you're still only like here, maybe. So remember that if you feel like you shouldn't be talking as much because you're talking too much, maybe if you're a quiet cat, you may just be talking more than you used to, and it's actually fine to talk as much as you are talking, or maybe even talk more. That's why I think having the quiet cat or friendly dog identity here, starting to identify with something like that. I'm not actually sure, I mean, I'm just some random guy yapping. There's people who know more about this than me, but I think identifying with that can help you go, hey, I am a quiet cat, so I'm gonna be feeling like this, like I'm talking too much. That's just how it goes. I need to talk more anyway. You may also be scared of judgment. You may be scared of saying something stupid, or maybe you feel like you're talking too much and you're scared of people going, hey, what's up with that guy? Why is he yapping so much? What's up with him today? Remember, like, you're probably getting closer to that point. Even if you do overshoot a little bit, you're probably closer than you were. Like if you go from here to here, that's still closer, right? So if you do that, people are gonna like you more probably. So don't worry about getting judged. And as for people judging what you're saying, if you say something stupid that like generally admits like vulnerability, people will like you more. And even if you say something stupid and people actually don't like that, they're not going to judge you as harshly as you think, because we're all our own hardest self-critics, I think is the saying. So really it comes down to discipline. You need to have discipline in noticing when you're feeling like you should talk more, but you're scared, and overcoming that fear, or it's too hard, you're lazy, overcoming that laziness. That's what discipline is. And when I say you feel the urge to talk more, I mean, maybe you need to ask more questions, maybe you need to start more conversations, maybe you need to crack more jokes. There's a whole bunch of different things it could be. Your brain is going to come up with a whole bunch of excuses for you to not talk, to be quiet cat, if you are a quiet cat, or if you're a friendly dog, it'll come up with a whole bunch of excuses for you to talk. But I think most of us are quiet cats, so I'm going to focus on that. Your brain may say stuff like, oh, your opinion isn't really that important here, like you don't have anything useful to add. And add it anyway, you know, because you're a quiet cat. You need to say more, because you'll connect with people more. So by now you may have realized that conversational skills are probably not why you are lacking an ability to connect with people. It may be that you can't come up with things to say, but it may be that you're not disciplined enough in just saying them. Maybe you have too much of a filter. You need to just, when your brain tells you, no, don't say that, just be disciplined and say it. After this video today, your brain is going to tell you, no, don't say that thing. And I want you, as your challenge for today, to say it anyway.